Day 2. We are in day 2? Yes, we are in day 2. June 16th at 9:46 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 2. The story so far. What's happened so far in this case? We've had 3 mysteries, kind of. A missing noodle stand, missing magic panties, and a runaway driver. And now we have a murder, and we don't know much about it. Let's go. Huh. Mr. Wright's not here today? He said his old foot injury was acting up. Old injury? He was all smiles yesterday. Yes, he smiled when he said we'll be fine, as long as you're there, Trucy. Yes, fine. We'll be fine. Here comes justice! I started my voice training at 5 this morning. That was 4 whole hours ago. Ooh, do some now. I want to see. Here. Huh? Oh, okay. Oh god, do we have to do some voice training? My name is Apollo Justice, and I'm fine! There we go, project the voice. Ellipses. That sounds more like a self-mantra than voice training. I'm fine, you know what I'm saying? Is that our defendant? That is our defendant. Good morning. Yo, sup? Hit me with the guilty verdict, G! See if I care. You just hang loose and let things go with the flow. You know what I'm saying? Not really. Walkie, don't be running your mouth like that in here. See, that's the difference between me and you, old man. I ain't afraid of no cops. Real G's can't keep it real till they spend some hard time in the pen. Oh, what even is this? Why have you got a shirt on with the blue badger with like $10 written on it? That just seems so random. You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Sounds like they're both in voice training too, Apollo. My worst fears realized. The trial's starting and I still haven't had a real talk with my client. Oh yeah, because we only got to the dungeons until like last thing in the day and everything was closed. Walkie's hell is like Cadia's. It really does. It really does. June 16th at 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 4. 5 hours worth of voice training. We're ready. We've like used up all our vocal cords, and it's time for trial. Court is now in session for the trial of Walkie Kitaki. Defense is ready, Your Honor. Ready to rock and roll, Herr Judge. I can't remember what voice did I use for Clavia. I do not remember. Ah, it's him, the guy from yesterday. He's a prosecutor. Mr. Gavin's brother. Ellipses. Long time no see. Prosecutor Gavin, were you taking a leave of absence? You know, little band I started in my free time. Thing is, we got real popular. Hard to say 9 to your fans when 3 of your singles go platinum, yeah? I see. To be honest, I was a little concerned. I feared that you might still be distraught over that one trial. Not to worry, Herr Judge. I wouldn't miss this day in court for the world. It's worth even more than VIP passes to one of my concerts, yeah? I feel like I just have like a German accent, but I'm not going to do that. How can I pass up a chance to see the true strength of the little boy who bested my brother? Ellipses. It was worth cancelling a show or 2. Understood. You may give your opening statements to the court. Right, let's have a look through the court record, because what have we got? Right, we have the attorney's badge, we have the map. We got a few things marked on the map, I think. We got just Mr. Wright's office in the Kentucky Mansion, and Eldune's house and Wright's clinic. So this is going to be super important. Bowl of noodles, Trucy's panties, cell phone, the wing mirror, which we found at the park. Oh, and the cell phone we found under the car as well. I think this cell phone is going to be super important to prove the car was there or something like that. Because it was like under the tire, I think, or something like that. We have fingerprint powder, which is probably not going to be used. We'll probably use fingerprint evidence. Marx's autopsy report. Time of death, June 14th, after 10 p.m. Cause of death, single bullet to the right temple. So, right temple. Got it. Get that memorized. We have a shiv that was found at the crime scene with Woki's prints. I'm not sure where this fits in. Like, I don't think we've heard about any kind of stabbing because the cause of death was definitely a gunshot wound. We have Mr. Eldu's noodle stand. And we have the bloomers, which belong to the organized crime lady, right? Okay, alright. Just reminding myself of all the evidence we've seen so far. You may give your opening statements to the court. Before that, I was thinking, is the air in this courtroom not a bit serious? It is a court of law. That's no way to get the crowd jumping, Herr Judge. They're not supposed to jump. This is a courtroom. Achtung, baby. Today we play it my way. Achtung, baby. What's that noise? Sometimes you have to get on up in order to get down. To prosecuting. I just realized that I think my cursor is still on stream. Let me see if I can fix that. There we go. On capture cursor. I think that was from 20 small mazes. There we go. That's better. No more mouse cursor on screen. This is crazy. The victim, Pal Maractus. Which, yes, it took me way too long to realize is a spoonerism of malpractice. Director of the Maractus Clinic. The scene, People Park. He was found pulling a noodle stand. What in the world was a doctor doing pulling a noodle stand? Yes, I believe. You will only find that out by asking the defendant right here, right now. There's an undeniable truth that he shot the victim. What do you mean undeniable? If you have to glare at anyone, Herr Judge, glare at the punk in the defendant's chair. Clavio is so great. So many characters are just so over the top in this game, and I love it. His crime was witnessed quite clearly, you see. Very well. Please admit this witness to the court. Nine. Not yet. Where would be the dramatic, where would be the dramatic build-up there? First, there is a little matter to be cleaned up. Could you talk without the accompaniment? I swear I could see the guitar for a second. Now he's got an invisible guitar. Got it. What is it, Prosecutor Gavin? The motive, Herr Judge. Why did the little punk do it? Why did he kill the director of the Maractus Clinic? Objection! Going straight in with the motive. Not so fast! The defendant doesn't have to explain that! Oh, but what if the defendant specifically requests to do so? As he did this morning? I want to give a shout out to all my homies, I believe he said. Gotta give a shout out to the homies. What? A shout out to the homies? What is this? Just like, so shocked. What is right? They always say that on stage you should hit the crowd with speed and ferocity. Sounds like you got you good, huh, Polly? Well, this is highly unusual, but the court will now hear from the defendant concerning his motive in the crime. So, you, son, are the defendant. Woki, are you? I ain't your son, old man. You step to a Kentucky, you best be prepared to step strong. What even does that mean? You step to a public official, you'd best be prepared to step into jail. You gotta hand it to him. Woki sure has guts. It's not his guts I'm worried about. Well then, the court will now hear testimony on the defendant's motive. From the defendant himself. Witness testimony. The first of many today. Wakitaki's truth. I'll tell you one thing. That doctor was a quacker. Someone had to show him what's what. I was in his clinic about half a year ago. He messed up my op something bad. And then he just lets me go without a word. See you later, bye. So I gotta go in, get another doc to patch me up again. That was the day I done figured it out. No OG is gonna let that pass. That's why I went to his pad that night. Know what I'm saying? Okay. That was a lot of words. You're saying you're one of the victim's patients. All right. Well, like, there's so many problems in this. Where do we even begin? So, firstly, like, he didn't go to his pad. It was completely the opposite side of town. That's the most important thing I'm noticing in there. So I think that's probably where we'll start. A lot of stuff goes down when you're keeping it real on the street. True dat. I'll tell you one thing. That dog was whack. Oh no, not whack. That's the worst thing one can be. Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination. I can't believe it's the first time I'm hearing of all this. Truly, what life is this where one is whack? Wacky Kentucky's truth. All right, let's go ahead and start pressing. I'll tell you one thing. That doctor was a quacker. Hold it. First of all, the word you're looking for is quack. And isn't that a little harsh? He's your family doctor. Who asked you, pointy locks? Just who do you think you are? Literally a lawyer. Look, I ain't trying to hear that. He was a quacker, plain and simple. You get the definition of quacker. Someone had to show him what's what. By someone, you mean? Was there anyone with a score to settle with this doctor? Besides you, I mean. You better have somebody else, Holmes. What do I care? I made up my own mind and did what had to be done. Straight gangsta style. But why are we so mad at this doctor? Yo, sit back and listen while I drop it, J-Man. J-Man! Alright, Judge is no J-Man. That's, this is no canon. I was in his clinic about a year ago, he messed up my up something down. So you're a patient at the Marxist clinic half a year ago? For what reason? I had what you might call a mark of honor. Can you explain precisely what was wrong? A little run-in with the Rivales? I mean, it's obviously rivals. Rivales family? That's when I pulled a jack move. And got shot? Ran into an ambush. G busted a cap right in me. According to my sources, you couldn't stand the stress of waiting. And ran in 15 minutes before the appointed time, by yourself. I got something to prove, you know? Hey, I was more than matched for those guys. I think he's meant to be a fox, because like this the Kitaki family, which like has like a fox symbol. So you were carried to the Marxist clinic from there? Apparently, he was shot in the heart. Shot in the heart? He's still alive? I'd catch bullets between my teeth. I never learned how to catch them with my heart. That makes too much sense. Yeah, you're right. Too much sense. Can't be this game. Never mind the foxes on the jacket or anything. The bullet stopped just short of my thumper, you know what I'm saying? I would have been golden if it weren't for that whack doc. Can't even take out a stupid bullet. So as you say, the first surgery was a failure. I think all of it, Holmes. And they just lets me go without a word. See you later, bye. What do you mean he just let you go without a word? What do you think it means? It's whack, that's what. Oh, not whack again. I'm not sure what that means, but it sounds bad. It sounds as though Herr Doctor wishes to hide his mistake. This is why he let the defendant go. That was completely the wrong voice, but oh well. When have I ever used the right voice? He's a liar, straight up. He's a badder G than me. As you can tell, I'm very street. So I gotta go in, get another doc to patch me up again. So this bullet is still... You know it! I can still feel it! Right there in my chest, pressing up against my heart. Your words are like a bullet shot straight into my heart. Or something to that effect. And incidentally, that's one of our hit singles, available now on Spotify. Well, that sounds like a straightforward case of malpractice! Oh, malpractice. Word J-Man! Weren't no accidents, that's faux shizzle. Oh, I hate this. Oh, it seems there were issues with this doctor. Man, putting him down was like doing the world a favour. Wacky, please consult your lawyer before saying things like that. Shut up, Apollo, back straight. But why did this mistake only come to light that day? It was found during the family health checkup. Family health checkup? We never got a chance to, like, press him on the last statement unless this is just a really long one. That was the wackest thing of all. All those G's lining up, taking eye exams and all that. Better to die young than fade away. Bizoy! Alright, Bizoy. A relief to hear. What's a relief? Oh, did your father not tell you? That bullet you carry so close to your heart. If not attended to immediately, it could kill you. What? What? A doctor near the hearts is dangerous. Dr. Maractus had knowledge concerning this ticking time bomb in you. Knowledge that could have saved your life. No way! That's whacked! There is proof. Your checkup report. Walkie's checkup report added to the court record. Okay, we've got some new evidence. Let's have a look. Let's go have a look at it over here. Results from a checkup performed in June. Metallic object found near heart. Patient's name, Wakiataki, male. Report found June 14th. Metallic object found near heart. Urgent exam needed. That's it. That's the entire report. The entire report is that we need a report. Okay, got it. Nice. I mean, there's nothing in that report that indicates that he's like the only doctor on Earth that can possibly find this bullet. Alright, whatever. You're almost as careless as he was. Ah ha ha ha. Ah ha 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 ha. Ellipsizzles. There we go, that's me being down with the kids. Ellipses. Well, no, the place is hopping. Let's get this gig started. Started? We've had enough of warm-up act, yeah? Time to hear from the witness. I never got to, like, grill him on the fact that he said he went to his pad, even though he clearly did not go to his pad. Walkie sure is quiet all of a sudden. I'm a little uneasy myself. Is this Gavin's strategy? Hello? Who are you again? Wait. Have we seen this? I don't think we've seen this character, right? You'll tell us your name and occupation. Oh no, yeah, it's Stickler! Of course it's wait, who was Stickler again? Yeah, Stickler's just appeared! Wait. Have we seen I don't know. My name is Wesley Stickler. Oh, we definitely have to see Stickler, because I remember doing the voice. By occupation, I take it, profit society at large, under which definition I must confess to being unemployed. However, we must acknowledge the meaning of identity, which is commonly attached to this notion of occupation, and once we have accepted this reality, we see that our confusion is not gestalt per se, but derives instead from the vagueness inherent in all representations of thought. By which he means to say he's a student. A junior at Ivy University, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, in the Department of Science and Engineering. I guess I didn't then, I don't know. Filled with curiosity for all things, I spend my days in pursuit of truth, owning my... Herr Stickler, please direct the set of curiosity to the case at hand today. Very well, Mr. Stickler. Please testify to the court about what you saw on the night of the crime. You asked quite simplistically what I saw. However, we must understand that Homo sapiens possesses two eyes, and those are designed to receive and interpret data, sending images in the form of signals. 2 hours later. Witness testimony! A night in the park. That night, I passed through the park on my way home from shopping, when I saw them. One man pulling a stand, another man facing him. I saw them quite clearly. The man facing the victim was the defendant. In his hand he held, yes, a pistol. It was pointed at the man pulling the stand. A shot! The bullet hit the man pulling the stand from the front, square in the forehead. Oh, was there anyone else in the park at that time? I can say with 100% accuracy that there was not. The pistol our witness refers to is this. The court accepts it into evidence. Alright. Have we had a fingerprint? Fingerprints are wiped. Okay. Weapon left at the crime scene. 2 rounds were fired. We need to investigate that. We need to do some investigation. We need to at least have a look at it and see if anyone's missed anything blatantly obvious. Serial number? Serial number? Hold on, I gotta figure out how to... No clues on the serial number. Any clues anywhere? There's like no clues at all on this. Anything there? There? Literally not a single clue on this entire gun. Alright, got it. Yes, Your Honor. I mean, Wookie doesn't exactly strike me as the kind to have the forethought to wipe fingerprints from the weapon. But whatever. Especially when these fingerprints are literally on the shiv. Ellipses! Trucy, why are you staring like that at the witness? That man. I can't help but feel I've seen him somewhere before. Ellipses? A night in the park. That night I passed through the park on my way home from shopping when I saw them. Alright, let's do some... On the way home from shopping, you say? I go through the park. Ah, fascinating inquiry. Revealing me culpable of being insufficiently verbose. It's making me speechless? What? Let's consider the time saved by passing through the park on the way home from the store. In that time, I am capable of solving 2 GMAT problem sets. On average, it requires me 3 minutes, 24 seconds to complete one set. Ergo, the time to complete 2 is on average 6 minutes, 48 seconds. However, in the case that questions are answered in the verbal category, admittedly not... this is going to be a thing, this testimony, isn't it? The court hopes to finish cross-examination sometime this month. Please, I've recorded and booked after this trial. And I've got a show to perform. Sorry you're all so busy. Only trying to, you know, save my client here. One man police stand, another man facing him. Oh, no, go back. Were these men talking by any chance? Ah, now that you mention it, they were, though I cannot claim I heard them clearly. Only fragments, such as, "You lied to me!" Oh, and, "I'm going to give you a taste of your own medicine, pal." Pal? Gumshoe? What? Ah, it's just as our defendant claims. I believe he wished to teach the victim what it felt like to take a bullet in the heart. If that's true, then this is a vital piece of testimony. Sounds like he heard them clear enough to me. Might I be allowed to amend my testimony? Sure. We'll take it. To be precise, he did not say pal, but man. Yes, that was the way of it. I swear it on my diploma. What's the difference? And this other man, who is he? Okay. I mean, that's literally not even in your testimony anyway. I'm sorry. Your testimony only consists of this green text. It doesn't consist of anything else. Like, alright. I saw them quite clearly. The man facing the victim was the defendant. How can you be so sure it was the defendant? The crowds took place at night. It would have to have been too dark. Perhaps I was remiss in not mentioning this earlier. Huh? You see, in class I always sit at the very backmost seat. Do you know why? Who cares? Because I do not wish anyone to copy my perfect notes. And this relates to your testimony how? I mentioned this to illustrate my predisposition to that which is perfect. It was dark, you say? Yet there are lights in the park. If I say the defendant was in the park that night, then he was in the park that night. It is a hard, immutable fact. He sure is confident. He seems to tell the truth too. Okay. In his hand he held a pistol pointing at the man pulling the stand. I'm not entirely sure what we're going to, like, object on, but we shall just work our way through these presses. Apparently there's a wish list sale. Alright, cool. Great. Thanks, team. Are you sure the pistols you saw is the same as the one just submitted as evidence? Am I sure? Surely you jest. Also, a common witness would be tempted to say. Huh? Yet I am no common witness. I see not only events as they are, but the logical structure governing these events. First, you must consider the fact that it was night in the park, which indeed restricted my field of vision due to insufficient levels of illumination. Now, if we consider the pistol, let us call it Object A, with certainty surrounded by darkness, it becomes difficult with certainty that Object A was indeed Object A. I confirm that all university students are like this. Same. University just does this to people. I think it means he couldn't see it that clearly. My badge for a normal witness. And defendant. If the fact that a pistol was fired before my eyes is indisputable, I can still see it when I close my eyes. The defendant raised his weapon. A shot, the bullet hit the man pulling the stand from the front, square in the forehead. Let's go. Are you absolutely certain only one shot was fired? Yes, of course it was one shot. Why do you ask? Aha, a contradiction, finally. Mr. Stickler, according to the court record, the pistol was fired twice. A clear contradiction! Good eyes, Herr Justice. You're cool. Really cool. Wait, is that what it says? Hold on. I missed that. 2 rounds were fired. I missed the one bit of actually important clue that we had on this entire pistol that I couldn't find anything. Alright, cool. Good work, Apollo! You were ahead of me on this one. Good eyes, Herr Justice. You're cool. Real cool. As long as I'm not whack, that's the important thing. You really think so? Oh! The budding romance between Apollo and Gavin begins. Yeah, there is no reason why this other shot had to be fired that night. Meaning? This pistol came from the Kentucky family mansion, yeah? I think it's not unreasonable to assume the pistol had been fired once before that night. During, perhaps, another altercation. Ah, he's got a point. Judging from his smug expression, I say prosecuting Gavin had that answer ready before you even spotted the problem. Seems pretty confident in his testimony. We always make the biggest mistakes when we're most confident. He's got a weak point somewhere, Apollo. Find it! Alright, better give that testimony another listen. So yeah, there is a contradiction we need to find. I think the only slight thing is this saying square in the forehead when we have single bullet to the right temple. I feel like that's a big enough contradiction to like present on. I don't feel like there's a massive amount of difference there, but that is a contradiction at least. Square in the forehead when bullets are round. Yeah, good point. I don't think that's quite what we're getting at, but okay, let's go. If that's all of it, I think I have a chance. Is that you relaxing, I see, Herr Justice? Huh? Oh, objection! Once is quite enough, Mr. Justice. Apollo, pace yourself. The trial's not over yet. We only have a limited budget of objections. Right. Look at this. The autopsy report. Is there a problem with the autopsy report? Right, the problem. Problem. Yes, the problem's the location of the entry wound. The location? You testified that the killer shot the victim square in the forehead, did you not? I've already determined your angle of inquiry. Allow me to explain. It is quite simple, really. First, understand that when I say square, I speak not of geometrical absolute. What do I mean by this? For example, the deflection of a meter is many times the wavelength of a light emitted by a krypton particle, as we know. In addition, it is a well-known fact that krypton particles are rare and invisible to the naked eye, which points to a basic fallacy in your line of reasoning, namely that... Mr. Justice. Yes. What's your objection to these krypton particle things? This is the big time when you're obsessed with something so small. You disappoint me. Right. Anyway, let's regain control of this trial. I'm obsessed with something big. I'm obsessed with something big. I mean, there's a bigger, less nitpicky problem here. Do tell. Just look at the autopsy reports. The location of the entry room was the right temple. Temple? Mr. Stickler, you say quite clearly the victim was shot square in the forehead. That's a contradiction, isn't it? I'm not quite sure. Follow, keep your private life out of this. It is, right? Finally. Objection! Herr Justice. Oh, Herr Justice. Yes? Your tactics are outdated. Trying to shake the witness by objecting to trifles. I would never object to trifles. Are there trifles? Is it catering time? Surely you haven't forgotten the fatal wound your master suffered 7 years ago. Herr Justice? Yeah, it's specifically just referring to his algae. Phoenix Wright, was it? Ellipses. Look, I know the wound was in the wrong place according to this testimony. Yuck! Those eyes! What is with those eyes? They're not right. They're not right. They're just like parallel wavy lines. That's honestly impressive. Is Japan okay? I'm not sure. Hey, have forehead. Forehead? Let us imagine you are walking through the park. You see two men facing each other, one with a pistol trained on the other. What would you do, Herr Forehead? Well, I guess I'd try to stop them. I'd probably shout, "Stop!" And you, Fraulein? Me? Well, I'd probably scream, "Eek!" And you, Herr Stickler? What did you shout, I wonder? Ack! The victim turned his head at the last moment. Okay, I see. Oh yes, thank you for jogging my memory. It sounds like an addendum to the testimony is required. Okay, so yeah, new testimony. A Night in the Park 2. As soon as the killer raised his pistol, I took action. Ceases at once, you two. Ceases at once, you two, I cried with composure. I completely lost the voice. The victim turned in the direction of my voice, and a shot rang out. Whereupon our cowardly killer, the defendant, appeared to become frightened. Tossing the pistol aside, he fled from the scene. I see, so you attempted to stop the crime? Indeed, with composure. Maybe the criminal wouldn't have fired if he hadn't shouted like that. That doesn't really matter now. So if the, like... I think my current thinking is if he immediately discarded the weapon, how were the fingerprints wiped? So I think that's the direction I'm going right now, but obviously we'll press all statements and see what happens. That doesn't really matter now, unfortunately. Let's consider this new testimony, shall we? Observe the diagram, if you would. A diagram! Oh no, this is professional courtroom action. The witness, Mr. Stickler, was it? Stood here. That's very close! That's very close to a gunfight. Like, why did you need to get that close? You're practically between them. He shouted, "Oh, stop, please," or something of this nature. And the victim responded by looking in the witness's direction. If the killer were to have fired at just that moment, as we can see, the bullet would have struck the right temple, as in the report. That does seem to be the case. Witness the power of a junior in Ivy University's Department of Science. Very well, Mr. Justice, you may cross-examine the witness. Cross-examination. A Night in the Park 2. Alright, as soon as the killer raised his pistol, I took action. Let's press. So you saw a raised pistol. Weren't you frightened? It can be said we students of Ivy University know no fear. The moment I saw that pistol, my inner sense of justice compelled me to take action. That was certainly brave of you. You might have gotten shot. Eh? You certainly were lucky. If I were in the killer's shoes, I certainly wouldn't have left a witness behind. Literally never occurred to him. Oh wait, this was dangerous. Actually, looks like he had no idea he was in danger. Regardless, I attempted to hold the bloodshed. It ceases once you see I cried with composure. Hold it! Hold it! Your Shabbath men were able to hear your voice? They were, of course. My high, exquisite voice echoed throughout the park. And the victim responded to the clarion call. Quite. The victim turned in the direction of my voice and the shot rang out. Hold it. Did you hear the gunshot at the same time as the victim turned? Indeed, I would say about the same time to be precise. And the victim didn't ask you for help? To be said that he didn't have time to ask. He didn't even have time to take a single step. I'm totally sure the killer fired because Mr. Stickler startled him. Don't say that too loud, Tracy, please. Whereupon our cowardly killer defendant appeared to have become frightened. Yeah, I've not seen anything so far that, like, goes against my immediate reaction. He described the killer's actions more clearly. He seemed quite surprised, especially considering that it was he who did the deed. As we can see, human psychology is a tangled web indeed. He simply couldn't believe what he had done. He shot, he panicked. A common tale, but true. Unfortunately, before I could take further action. Tossing the pistol aside, he fled the scene. Okay, this is the one I think we're going to press on. We're going to present on. You didn't try to apprehend the criminal? It all happened so fast, I'm afraid I hadn't the time. Does something about that strike who was odd, Apollo? Yeah, it sure does. What? The killer was in a hurry, right? He fired the pistol and tossed it right away. According to testimony, that's what happened, yes. In that case, I'd expect to find something that we didn't find. Gee, what could that be? Find something? Find what? I like that contradiction. Kind of sad to see it go. Not as sad as I feel. What do we do now? At least testimony's getting a little clearer. Alright, let's do it. Let's present the pistol on this one. We need to find the computer room. But also present the pistol. Objection! Objection! Wait a second. Tisk tisk, another misleading request. Yet you're so beholden to your own mode of discourse you can't see how it affects you. What are you speaking of? Wait a second, you say? A second? Are we intended to wait just that? A single second? 1/60th of a minute? That's hardly enough time to draw a breath, let alone make a statement in court. Now, had you asked for a longer period of time, say 3 minutes 35 seconds... Okay, alright, we gotta be very careful what we say. Yes, Your Honour? Am I to understand that you're objecting to the length of a second? Judge has just woken up, been asleep, sorry. Yes, I mean, no. Here, just look at the pistol. It doesn't have a single fingerprint on it. That's why you have to shout objection really loudly, because the judge just kind of falls asleep during testimonies, and that's the only way to wake him up again. A common ploy, made all the more common, I fear, by the prevalence of television. Criminals these days are loath to leave fingerprints. Wait, but you said the killer tossed the gun and ran. That's right. He didn't have time to wipe the gun for prints. Little girl sticking to the university student. There's a song in there. I'm not little. Ah. Let's sing like adults, shall we, Fraulein? Hey! What if the killer, the defendant, was wearing gloves? Ellipses! Gotta admit, I didn't think of that, Apollo. Yeah, that'd do it. Well, Mr. Justice? Could the killer have been wearing gloves? I just said no, because we have the fingerprints on the shiv, right? Those were found at the crime scene bearing Walkie's prints. But we don't necessarily, like, I guess those could have been put on before he put on the gloves, maybe? I don't know. I kind of think the answer they're going for is a no. Because in fact, they literally found his... Did they find his fingerprints on anything else at the scene? I think it was just the knife, right? But I think that's enough to say no way. I think that's enough to say no way. Let's go. The record of the murder weapon is very clear on one thing. The fingerprints were wiped, which means some trace of prints remain. Also that, the fingerprints were specifically wiped off. Which contradicts your testimony. If everything happened as you said it did, you wouldn't have had time to wipe the pistol. Tap tap. That may be, but it does not change what I saw. The killer, the defendant. He threw down the murderous weapon from his hand and fled. And this pistol was found at the scene of the crime, strongly suggesting that this was the weapon he disposed of. That sounds solid to me. Well, Herr Forehead, any of your precious objections? I mean, have you even addressed the objection that I mentioned? Is there no reason that it it was wiped? Like, so oh. What gives, Apollo? Let's see that voice training go to work. You know, I've only recently realized something. No matter how much you train your voice, it doesn't matter if you have nothing to say. What do you mean, nothing to say? Isn't it obvious from what the witness just said? Huh? Is what obvious? When he restated what he saw just now, he said he saw Woki drop a murderous weapon. But that's not the same as being 100% sure of what Woki threw away. Yeah, that was the knife! It was the knife! Woki has nothing to do with the gun! You're right. He's just confused because the pistol was found at the scene. Oh, Mr. Stickler, it must be hard to be so perfect and yet so wrong. So perfect? Trucy, like... Are we looking at the same witness here? Wrong, I'll grant you. Well, it can be said that I'm quite offended. While it is indeed true that once in my youth I wrote a love letter in my own blood that was seized by the teacher and posted on the blackboard for all to see, and for the appellation poor might well be a prefix by name, yet at the issue of hand. What we can say for certain is the witness saw the killer throw something. Does the defense have anything to say about this? If what he threw wasn't a pistol, what else could it be? Gee, I wonder. At least one person on the defense team thinks through thinking. I'll wipe that smile off your pretty face, Gavin. Perhaps you can inform the court as the nature of this something else. What did the killer throw away before fleeing the scene? Panties. Definitely panties. I think it might have been the knife, maybe. Say the knife. The defendant threw my attorney badge. Is that a sword? I saw one of those on that late-night movie last night. Great, a sleep-deprived judge. This knife is found at the scene of the crime, with the defendant's prints on it. His prints! This single piece of evidence proves two important things. One, that what the defendant threw down wasn't a pistol. Two, the defendant wasn't wearing gloves. Oh, indeed. Oh, Herr Forehead. You're forgetting two other things you've just proven. We've proven that he was at the scene of the crime, and we've proven that he had a weapon. Is that what we've proven? One, that the man the witness saw was the defendant, Mr. Wakikataki. Two, that the defendant was holding a knife with the intent of harming the victim. Great! We've done very well. Indeed. Never underestimated Gavin is the lesson here. This court is of the opinion that our witness is fond of making assumptions. In that light, I believe it would behoove us to hear about what really occurred. With less assuming, please. It is always the same with you people. Mark left the house on foot, and 5 minutes later his brother left after him. How long would it take for Mark's brother to catch up to him? Assuming that Mark never had to stop for traffic light? Assuming. Yes, that's what I said. Assuming! As if that were a probable situation at all. Yet here you are, assuming that my assumption is no better. What this court assumes is that the witness will testify as to what will happen after the shot was fired. Judge laying down the law. Let's go. Witness testimony. Fourth one, I think? From shot to call. I could not prevent the killer from leaving the scene. Nor could I simply leave the scene in good conscience. Ergo, I used my cell phone to call the police. Until the police arrived at the scene 10 minutes later, I saw no one else. Okay. Why didn't you chase the killer?
He was, as you say, a killer. Of course, I could have run him down, yet what would he have done when cornered? Sadly, it takes more than aptitude for solving quadratic equations to know that.
The testimony only not prove the defendant's presence at the scene. And do we not also now know that there was no one else there? It seems clear that we have our killer. Does it not?
Does it not, Mr. Justice?
I better find a way to take his testimony down quick. Cross-examination. From shot to call. I could not prevent the killer from leaving the scene. Okay. Which way did the killer run?
By that time, it was clear the killer had noticed me. Naturally, he ran in the opposite direction.
That would mean he ran in the opposite direction from the Kentucky mansion. Achtung! Don't even think about pointing out that he was going away from his home. All he had to do was loop back once he was out of sight. How did he know that's where I was going? Clipsies! Trucy's like the disappointment in Trucy's face. Nor can I simply leave the scene in good conscience. You're certainly composed for someone who had just witnessed a killing.
If one is to devote one's life to the pursuit of science, one must never flinch at the sight of little blood, nor be so moved by a chemical discovery that one dropped one's flask upon the lab room floor.
Oh, cool answer. Very cool. Lavia, again, are we looking at the same witness here? So nothing strange about how he acted. Ellipses. Trucy looks like she has something to say. Ergo, I used my cell phone to call the police. Wasn't your first thought to call an ambulance?
It can be said that I have dabbled in medicine. The injury I witnessed, namely a single shot to the head, tends to result in death. Ergo, there was no need for me to call an ambulance. Oh, a perfect syllogism. A proof in 3 parts. Exquisite. Simply exquisite.
Actually looks like he's going to cry. Trucy, what do you want to say? Yes, Trucy, you may go to the toilet. Jeez. You don't need to ask. Just go. Until the police arrived 7 minutes later, I saw no one else. Can you tell us in detail about these 10 minutes?
I stood in a state of heightened awareness. Anything could happen at any moment. Anyone could appear from any direction.
Is that all?
No one came, nothing happened at all. I saw it all, which is to say, I saw nothing. It was late at night. It's not hard to think there will be a few people around in the park.
So you just stood there watching? Not much to go on there. Yes, Trucy, go! If you have something to say, by all means say it. I can't find a single problem with that testimony. Okay, so there's no contradiction. We're going straight into the next cutscene. Hand over the last hair forehead. Maybe it's time to back off a bit. This is a... do I want to back off a bit? I don't think I do. Is this just saying that we're going to, like, leave the testimony? Like, if I say no, we're going to go back to the testimony, it's just going to be an infinite loop. Let's see. The defense has some questions that demand answers, Your Honor.
Your opinion, Prosecutor Gavin?
Let him play attorney until he's satisfied, I say. I'll amuse myself by composing my next smash hit in my head.
You may continue with...
Oh, yeah, so we're just going straight back into the question. Alright, so yeah, I think we do need to just exit here. So let's press that statement again. Can we... auto skip? There we go. And then we'll say yes. Because I don't see anything in there. The fact that it's letting us go on to another thing. Some of us have glamorous careers we'd like to get back to this month, hair forehead. I don't have enough to put Wacky away yet. Should I back off for now? And we'll just back off because like if it gives us this option, like I feel like we should be taking this option. Okay, it's not like it's coming up with the like the health meter in the corner, so I think we're good to like move on. There's nothing fishy about the testimony at all.
It appears there are no objections to the witness's current testimony.
There are any number of ways to explain the lack of prints on the pistol, I assure you. Perhaps the killer really was wearing gloves which wiped the previous user's prints off. Then, after the deed was done, this fell out of his pocket as he was throwing the gun away. A mistake befitting of a small-time punk, in my opinion. No. No!
It seems we've come to the end of the line here.
No, that can't be all. How unfortunate. It seems that you weren't cut out to stand on the same stage as me. Wait, you literally said that you don't have enough evidence to like get him. I don't think I think this is all. Something's gonna come like last minute and save the day, as always. Nice attorney game.
I'm going to bring the cross-examination to a close. This court will now declare a verdict for defendant Walkie Kentucky.
Nope, there's gonna be a turnaround. There's gonna be a turnaround. Eek! Eek! Oh, yeah, that'll do it. Trucy? Nobody move! Wait. Nobody move!
What's the meaning of this? Who are you?
Ellipses. There'll be no verdict in this court. Not yet. Wait, are you one of the Kentuckys?
The Kentuckys? You mean the notorious gangsters?
If you don't want to see the pretty little girl get a new smile, do as I say. It's Professor Layton. Adjourn the court for 20 minutes.
What? This court will not bow to the pressure from the likes of...
Don't be discouraged. There may be puzzles left unsolved. Instead, be certain that everyone is safe.
Be certain that everyone is safe while having a knife to the throat of Trucy. Herr Judge.
Ellipses!
I see little point in further aggravating this gentleman. Everyone appears to be safe right now. Recess, 20 minutes. I promise you, you'll regret it. Wait! How did you disappear so fast? Dang it, I shouldn't let Trucy go to the toilet. It's my bad. My bad. I said she could go to the toilet. Clearly she got jumped while doing so. Ugh, I feel terrible. Come to the defendant lobby, Apollo.
I suppose I have no choice but to adjourn for a 20-minute recess. Bailiff, catch that mysterious man!
To be continued. This was a pretty short part then, huh? But that is the first trial part of the second case. Yeah, I don't feel like we've really done much yet. We've just kind of like pretty much backed up Stickler's testimony pretty well. I don't really know where this is going, and I don't have a clue who's, like... I guess it must be a Kentucky member. I don't know. This is weird. Also, there's a lot of bailiffs and cops around courtrooms, right? Like, Alright. Anyway, that's my reaction. Alright, next time we will, be carrying on with the trial, I guess? I think we only have a 20-minute recess, so, you know, we'll see how it goes. Alright.